It's that time again. It's time for another Saturday night special where we talk about everything rockhounding related. Well, I have some good news before we get into this week's episode. Good news for me, good news for future you if you're a regular viewer here on the channel. I'm going to be stopping the Saturday night special for a while. I have a lot of things happening in life right now. Good things, very good things. But I can't make a video every week, which these Saturday night specials, they are a video that I make like, Friday or Saturday morning before it goes up. But I do have regular videos scheduled out into June, so stay tuned for that. But good stuff is afoot for me, so, this will be the last one of these for a little bit. Last Saturday night special for a little bit. This past week, going to the Lakeside Gem and Mineral Club show. It was a good show. We need to talk about rock shows a little bit. I only got a couple of things there. I got, my still bite on calcite and my cliniclass. So I did get a couple of things, and I'm very happy with what I got there. I still need to make real labels. I like to make my own. I make my own labels for everything. But yeah, so this stuff is stuff that I need to make labels for. I need to do like a big labeling session, right, at the mounting bench, if you will. That's got to happen here. The shows, gosh, there's no easy way to... I don't know if I ever want to make another show video. And it has nothing to do with the Lakeside Gem and Mineral Club. And everything to do with just the logistics of it, okay? Here's the thing. I have made 10 rock show videos. And I find them to be very enjoyable. Rock shows are like a core aspect of being into rock hounding. It's been like a tradition. It's like a community event thing. It's really good, like vendors, cases. The cases are the best part. They're the best. It's so cool to see the things that people have collected in this like curated collection of rocks. Like it's very fun. You're not going to go into everybody's house and see their displays, but you can see them at a show. So I like that aspect. There's a number of downsides to the filming at a show. Okay, it's just hard. Also, there's always a large number of complaints on the rock show videos. And we'll talk about that here, but there's a logistical problem of filming at shows. It's loud, there's other people. The show doesn't revolve around us filming. We don't even ask. We just show up with cameras. So, and the filming part is a challenge because it's not like we're just walking around with cell phones, right? There's a real camera, the camera that you're watching on right now, which is not the smallest thing. And then there's a gimbal involved, which right now I just have a camera light on it. But if you've never seen what a gimbal is, I'll show you here. Imagine there's a camera on here. But this is to make it nice. It's really very challenging at a show where you're walking around people bump into you, and it's hard. So a gimbal is nice because imagine there's a camera on this, right? You can put it in different modes, and as you move, the camera would stay mostly in place. This is in pan follow mode, so it just kind of maintains being in one plane. So you're walking around with this thing, and it stands out, and there's a number of problems with filming at shows. And I have noticed a trend amongst vendors that I don't like, and that is the no labels of what they're selling and no price tags. And I understand that there's like I guess you could say like there's like a it's like a tactic. And I don't like the tactic. You know, if there's bins of slabs and no prices and they have a little sign like ask for prices, I know that they're gonna like try to like judge me and be like, well, what can I get out of them? And give me a price and give everybody, you know, Sarah a different price, whoever a different price. I don't like that. I want to not have to ask. And, you know, part of it is like I'm somewhat tempted, like the mean jerk side of me. I want to like go and be like, how much is this slab? How much is this one? And this one? And this one? And like do a whole like bin, all the bins, as a like to prove a point that I don't like it. And I've also noticed that a lot of vendors, this is frustrating. A lot of vendors sell junk. Like, you know, it's not cool material. And it's not like the Lakeside Gem and Mineral Club. It's just vendors in general. The high quality vendors that I'm really interested in seem to be becoming fewer and fewer. And the high quality ones seem just, there's less and less good vendors. Which makes it a challenge sometimes at a show, like to see like endless tables of wholesale junk, as I would put it. So a combination of the challenges of filming in a place like that, with like, you know, you have this thing, it draws attention to you because people are like, what the hell, what is that guy doing over there? And it being loud. And the complaints that people always make about the videos is they range. I end up deleting them all because I'm just like, why are you coming into my workplace and complaining? Like, if you want to complain about the video that's free, well, you're probably also the type that's like, I don't know, going to Home Depot and complaining that they don't have the hammer that you want. I don't know. Just don't come into my workplace and whine, I guess. But, you know, it'll be like, oh, why didn't you... I don't like that you didn't spend this time talking to this person. You need to show their business cards. I'm like, most of the time they don't have business cards. Like, a lot of vendors put little to no effort into what they're doing. They just like show up and they're like, meh. Like, I'm sorry, that's how it comes off. That's how it comes off. And that's why, you know, people that are cool, people that we talk to, people that I buy stuff from, yeah, show their business cards, you know, like the best I can. Usually a lot of shows don't have the best lighting. It's not a well-lit space like this. Like right now, I can show you this and you can clearly see it because this place is set up to film, you know. The shows are not necessarily set up to film. That's not the thing that the spaces are designed for. Often it's like kind of a big, just like fairgrounds type space with poor lighting, relatively poor lighting. I think on the complete opposite end would be like a tailgate show. Tailgate shows, you definitely get more just kind of like, it'd be like me selling, you know, they're outside, it's nice. I wish there was a lot more tailgate shows. I think that'd be fantastic. But, yeah, I'm not a fan of the comment section crybabies. But the shows are generally good. Like, me and Sarah, we're not going to stop going to shows. I just might stop filming at shows. And, you know, a good example of something that I'm interested in, but I'm keeping it at, like, a little bit of a distance, is the 3D printed stuff. I find it to be fascinating. No, I don't own a lot of 3D printed stuff, but I find it to be fascinating that people are experimenting with 3D printing as a way of putting lapidary equipment into people's hands. I'm not going to be doing it. But, you know, so here's a little sign that I have out here in the shop, and Sarah got this for me. It's funny. But this is a 3D printed product. Maybe you can see the texture on that. Okay, I think there are aspects of 3D printing which are really good, and you can make stuff like that, or these blade guides. Like here's a 1/4 inch one, right? So this goes on your slab saw, and then you can bring the rock up to this and create that perfect, well, in this case, a 1/4 inch piece. And this is magnetic, right? Can you see that there? Magnetic. That's a great use for 3D printed stuff. I don't know if we're at the point where 3D printed machines are that good. You know, okay, so the problem with 3D printing is it has a big knowledge bar to get by to be really good at it. And there's like a million different types of filaments, but there's like people that, I don't want to be disparaging, but they've definitely drank in the 3D printing Kool-Aid, and you know, they're like, 3D printing is the future. Everything's going to be better. 3D printed. 3D printed. I'm like, I don't know. I think that what needs to happen is there needs to be some 3D printed lapidary machines that get put into the hands of somebody that is knowledgeable about lapidary, has other comparable machines to compare against, and can be like, and have an even keeled perspective on it. Because if you're going to tell me that a 3D printed saw is as good as my stainless steel saw, you need to have both and compare, you know? You need to be like, is this good enough? Can this be good with limitations? How does it hold up over time? I'm optimistic. I think there's something to it, but I don't think it's there yet. And you know, maybe it never will be, but maybe I don't know. I'm not. If you are somebody that 3D prints stuff, what is the most abrasion resistant thing that you can print? Like, or the plastic, how abrasion resistant is it? Because one of the problems that I see, it's like when you're cutting rocks, okay, like you are, I don't have anything, but like, you know, you have a cut surface and you're pushing it along the top into a blade. How durable will that top be over time? Or in the case of cab machines, you have like, you know, diamond or silicon carbide or whatever, or little bits of rock being flung off. Will that just like abrade a 3D printed plastic in a way that an injection molded plastic is not abraded? Like in this case here, so this is like the top piece to the high-tech diamond all you need flat lap. And you can see on the inside, right, like it kind of gets a little worn, right? And that's just from like stuff coming off of your rocks and hitting it. How does whatever this, I don't even know, I don't know what this plastic is. I mean, it's obviously like a molded piece, but like how does 3D printed plastics compare to roto-molded, injection molded things? I would like some real answers to that, I guess. You know, it's yeah, I would like to see here's some answers, and then see some like, hey, we have these different things and we're testing them somehow. I don't know. I like this idea of basic entry-level machines being able to be affordably made and sold. However, I think that they also need to be very high quality, because somebody that's new needs something that's not a bunch of problems. You know, it's one thing for me or somebody else that has a lot of experience in the world of lapidary to be dealing with machine problems, or like, oh, why is this thing crooked or whatever, and be able to troubleshoot it. It's another thing if you haven't cut rocks much, you don't really understand some of the problems that you're going to be facing, you know? Just my thoughts on it. what do you think of shows? Have you gone to shows lately? What do you think of the vendors? You know, yeah, I feel like rock show coordinators should be reaching out to local rock shops, local miners, and getting people that have like really interesting stuff in, and not asking back people that are just been like, okay, so here's my plan. I'm going to buy all this rock wholesale, and then I'm going to go to shows and I'm going to flip it. And it's like my side hustle, and I'm going to put no effort in. I'm not going to label things. I'm not going to price things. I'm not going to have a business card. I'm just going to be like that. I don't like I don't like it. I don't like it. And you know, I've been reading Lapidary Journal, and I see the types of shows that we used to have, and that wasn't a thing. There wasn't people just like trying to flip rock for profit. I mean, some people did that, but it wasn't on the same level that we have now, you know? And maybe it's ignorant on my behalf to daydream about what it was like in the, 1960s going to rock shows, but I want that, I guess. I want something I can't have. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. Sorry about taking the break from the Saturday night specials, but when you find out why eventually, I think you'll be happy, and I definitely will be as well. All right, stay tuned. Rockhounding season is afoot, so lots of outside rock collecting videos are coming. And with that said, we'll leave this one here. Thanks, everybody.